This conference will now be recorded.
Let's go with the continuation of yesterday's session first. What we discussed in yesterday class. Quick recap. So yesterday we discussed about the basic shift operators. So whatever the basic operators are there from the shift, everything is compatible from the C. I mean, whatever the C compatible operators are there, all the operators are introduced in shift. So the major difference was increment decrement operators were not supported in shift except that one assignment operator, arithmetic operator, unary minus plus, and the compound assignment operator, comparison, that is a relational operator. At the same time, logical operators, conditional operators, bitwise operators, all are supported except the increment and decrement operators. Then what is something new in the shift means there are few specific operators are there that is going to call as a nil collision operator, which is indicated by two double question marks. So two question marks are there, that is a nil collision operator, or double question mark is there, that is a nil collision operator. So what this nil collision operator will do, whenever you have a optional data, in place of using force unwrapping, before doing the force unwrapping, just you can make sure that if the left side expression is optional, you can provide some default data to that particular variable. So in order to provide the default data, you can check this optional having a value, then provide that value. If it doesn't have the value, then try to provide a optional value without force unwrapping. Then range operator. So these range operators are used to travel from 1 to 2 or x to y position. So in order to travel x to y position, there are two variations will be there. One is 3 dot. 3 dot is going to call as a closed range operator, which is going to travel from A to B, including B also. Whereas dot dot less than is called off open range operator, which is going to travel from A to B but doesn't include the B, and one side range operators also there that is going to use for the upper boundary and lower boundary. Today most probably we'll discuss this one. Then later we introduce a control flow statement. So whatever the control flow statements are there, everything is compatible in C also, C to shift. So conditional statement if else switch, whereas iterative statement while, for in, and the repeat while. So repeat while is a substitution of do while, and control transfer statements are continue, break, follow through, return, and throw. And early exit statement is called guard. Then what is follow through means, when you are working with the shift, by default in switch body only one case can be executed, that is exactly the matching case of your data. So if you want to execute the subsequent statements within the switch statement, then you have to write the follow through after the case. So by default in C and C++ or any other programming language, when you are executing the switch, from matching case up to break is occur, automatically is going to be executed by every statement. But when you are working with the shift, so only the matching case will be executed. After the matching case, if you want to execute the next case also, then must and should have to use follow through keyword. Then while and repeat while. So while and repeat while is exactly same as while and do while. So what is the difference between while and repeat while means, when you are working with while loop, pre-checking will be happen. First you have to satisfy the condition, then only the block is going to execute, whereas a repeat while, once it will executed automatically without any condition. That means we can give a guarantee that at least once my code is executed when we are working with what, repeat while. Then what is the use of closed range, or what is the use of closed range or off range? So closed range is used to travel from A to B, which includes the B also, whereas the off range is going to travel from A to B but doesn't include the B value. That means we can say closed range is looks like less than or equal to, whereas the off range is exactly same as just less than. So closed range is equal to less than or equal to behavior, whereas off range is equal to less than behavior only. Then what is the difference between question mark, exclamation mark, and double question mark? So question mark is going to indicate is optional, whereas the exclamation mark is used to unwrap the data from the optional variable, whereas a double question mark is going to call as a nil collision operator, which provides a default value to a optional variable when it doesn't have the data. That means If the optional is a nil, then you can provide some default data by using what? Nil collision operator. These are the things which we discussed yesterday session. Now continuation of Swift basics. Shift collection types. So in the last class, we discussed some basic data types or fundamental data types like integer, character, float, string. Those all are designed to maintain some basic data types. Apart from the basic data type, there are some kind of situations are there where you maintain multiple values or the different type of data or the different structure of data. Then we have to go for collection type. So what is this? Collection types in Shift provides three primary collection types known as array, sets, and dictionaries. So in Shift, there are three collection types are exist. One is going to call as array, one is going to call as a set, and last one is going to call dictionary for storing collection values. Then arrays. What is the meaning by array? Array is nothing but order of collection of values. So collection of values. Here, when we are going to define arrays in C++, what we are going to define? Array is a collection of similar data type of elements. That is our definition in C and C++. Array is a collection of similar type of data types or ordered collection of similar data types. Order collection of similar data types, but in Shift, array means order collection of values. That means in C and C++, must and should we have to use similar kind of values, whereas in Shift, no need. So Shift array can be maintained combination values, generic values, any type of data. So only the condition array is a order of collection elements. What type of element means? Any type of element. You can maintain any type of elements, whatever you need according to your requirement. Then dictionary. Dictionary is a collection type where you are going to maintain unordered element with key value association. So if you remember hash map technique we are going to use in the dictionaries. So what is a hash map technique means? Whenever you have a value, so whenever you are going to store some value, based on that particular value, it will generate a hash value. So based on that hash value, it will store in simple manner. What you have to say in dictionaries, elements are going to store in unordered format with the key value association. That means every value have its corresponding key. So we are going to discuss practically. So only the thing you have to remember in dictionaries, every value having a corresponding key value. So by using this key value, we have to extract the data. Directly you can't extract. In arrays, we are extracting the data by using the indexes, whereas in dictionary, we have to extract the data by using key value pair, whereas a sets. Sets are unordered collection of unique values. So arrays and sets difference is that in arrays, you can maintain the elements in order. In which order you added the element, in the same order, the elements will exist. Order is a guarantee, but elements can be duplicated. That means array having the compatibility to maintain the duplicate values, whereas a sets doesn't maintain any duplicate values. So sets must be unique value, but only the thing you can't give the guarantee of orders. Let's say if I'm going to add an element in one particular orders in array, I'm sure 100% that I will get the elements in the same order. But in sets, when you are maintaining an element, when you are adding the element in one particular order, you can't give the guarantee that you will get the elements in same order. So arrays will be maintained ordered element, whereas a sets will be maintained unordered elements. In arrays, elements can be exist duplication. Duplication can be exist, whereas in sets there is no duplicate. Unique values will be exist. So dictionary is entered different from these two. In dictionary, the data is going to maintain based on what? Keys. So these are the three types of collections: arrays, dictionary, sets. Most probably without these two or three we can't use. Arrays and dictionary more frequently used. Sets are the combination, like some specific requirements are there where you want to maintain the unique elements, then only we are going to go for the sets. These are three type of collections. Then array dictionaries and sets in Shift are always clear about the type of the data and keys are going to store. So the meaning is that whenever you are trying to use arrays, dictionary or sets, you should know what type of data you are going to maintain, what type of key elements you are going to maintain. Everything should be clear. Then this means that you cannot insert a value of the wrong type into a collection by mistake. So let's say if you are going to create a dictionary with the key value pair of string or string of int, then you have to maintain in the same order. You can't change the thing, or you by mistake you can't enter, because already we discussed that type checking will be there, safe checking will be there. What type of elements you are going to maintain, the same type of element it has to be maintained. Otherwise, it's not going to work. Then shift array sets and dictionary types are implemented as a generic. I already mentioned a point that it can maintain any type. So it's not related to integer, character, float. It can maintain any type. These are the things. In shift dictionaries or in shift arrays or sets, you can maintain any kind of data. It is a generic implementation. Okay. Then we can apply where let to any collection type. So it's like a similar variable type only. When you are creating an array, you can make where array or let array. You can create a dictionary, where dictionary or let dictionary. You can create a set, where set or let set. So what is the difference? Simple. If you are created mutable type, then it is possible to modify the data. That means where is always allows to change, whereas a let is constant, right? Same. So in place of where let, we are going to use two standard keywords called mutable, immutable. So if you want to create a mutable variable, then it is a var type. If you want to create an immutable variable, then it should be the let type. The difference is that mutable means it will allows to perform some kind of operations of insertion, deletion, modification. So modifications can allowed on only mutable type, whereas immutable type doesn't allows to modify anything. It's a top question, mutable versus immutable. Immutable means you can't do any kind of insertion, deletion, updation operation, whereas a mutable will allows insertion, deletion, and updating also. This is the thing. So how to create a mutable in Shift? Just you have to apply the where to the array or dictionary or set. By default, it became mutable. If I am creating an array set or dictionary by using the let keyword, then it became the immutable type. Then working with arrays. So what is array? Array is a shift. Arrays in shift is used to store an ordered collection of values of any type. We can have more than one type in an array. So in C++, array is a collection of similar data type elements in a particular order, whereas in shift, it can be ordered and it can having any type of data values. This is so it's a long things to go with the array. Arrays are not so. So I'm not going to move into dictionary or sets. First, we will work on the arrays. Okay, fine. Can we go with the coding?
Yes.
Yes, perfect. I think it's open in the wrong window. Good. Can see my Xcode, right? Okay. Create a new playground. working with array, or simply give the standard name array playground, and make sure that you are going to store this particular playground in your repository. You have a repository yesterday you created, so you must and should go and store this particular playground in this particular repository only. Okay, then create it. So once you created a playground, you can check in your repository that is the repository. See, these files are already generated, so it's already synced. So don't do anything with error. Go to this one. So foundation, then remove this one. So it's not a small topic, but so we have to go with one by one concepts. So first thing is creating an array. How we are going to create an array? What is the syntax to create an array? So when you are creating an array, it's similar to your variable creation itself. Let's say let means it is immutable array of integer colon int equals to 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So the syntax is became var or let, whatever may be according to you, let or var array name colon type equals to value 1, value 2, value 3, so on. This is the syntax. Okay, if you want to create a string of array, let array of string. What do we have to do? Open string equals to like this. So you want to store anything, similar kind of approach. So syntax is nothing but let or array name type equals to something. Okay. Now the second one is how to create an empty array. Creating an empty array. So here I was already initialized the elements and I want to create an empty array without initialization. Okay, fine, not an issue. The syntax begin var, because empty array means later you can modify, right? That's why I'm using var array name colon. So array name colon, in place of mentioning the type, what I can do equals to type initialize. It's empty array. No. Var of array of float equals to float open close. Var array of string1 equals to string of okay. Now if you want to create a optional, so if you want to create a optional, just you can mention the question mark there. We'll discuss this one in the later sections. Then the next syntax, creating an array with the default values. So when you are creating the array, it's possible that you can create that particular array with some default values also if you require. So how to create the array with the default values means var of array of default integer. Array of default integer. I want to create a default integer array of int equals to array class name. Then it has some its methods. So according to the behavior, we need number of elements. So I will use this one, array, a repeating of 5 of 10 elements. So the meaning is that default value is 5 for 10 elements. So if you created array like this, then also it's possible. Array is a class name here. Class name here. We'll discuss what is class, how to use this. Okay, now the next one, finding the length. So length means what? Length always returns number of elements in collection type. So let's say print array of integer dot, see, last lazy something is there, but I'm going to use count. So what it is going to print here? Let array of integer. How many elements are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if I'm going to ask what's the number of elements here, then it should be prints what? 5. You can check on the debug window, it's printed 5, and here also you can check that number of elements are 5. Then print array of string dot count. So free because balututorial.com, right? And what is the next one? Empty array, right? Okay, go with the empty array. Print array of float dot count. So it's empty float array. So number of elements are what? 0. There is no elements array exist. Then print of array of string 1 dot count. Here it is also default. So it's empty. Then you create a default integer, right? Then print array of default integer dot count. So 10 elements are there. But if you print this value, print array of default integer values, then see here, because here what we did, we created an array of 10 elements with a repeated value 5. That means all 10 elements has a repeated value 5. So creating array with the default values, so all 10 elements having 5, 5, 5.
One question, that is the array
Yeah.
of default integers, which you mentioned that array repeating 5 and count is 10. Can we use that for a very large volume of data?
Yes, it's dynamic.
Oh, okay.
Just you have to make sure you have an integer type. So integer maximum capacity, whatever you hold, that means is 64 or 32 according to that one. Yes, it can be dynamic because everything is a runtime memory management. It can be maintained lakhs of values also. We don't have any problem. It's not like a turbo C editor or the small set of editor. It's up to you. It's everything is a dynamic. You can maintain lakhs of values. No problem at all.
Okay.
Okay, now element access. So we have a different arrays actually. Just remember the names. Array of integer, array of string, array of float, array of string, array of default values. Okay. Now I want to access one element from array of string. We have 3 elements, right, in array of string. So if I want to print everything, what I can do now, print array of string. Then it prints, see, complete list. It's printed complete list. Everything is printed. Now I want to print first element. Print array of string index of 0, first element. I want to print the last element. Print array of string last element 0, 1, 2, 2. The best way to do like this, print array of string, I can say array of string dot count -1. Any problem? So here I given the static value because I know the number of elements, how many exist and what is the last element index. But it can be crashed sometimes. For example, you are imagining that, okay, my array has a 5 elements and you are trying to access fourth one, last element. But by mistake, due to some issues, maybe the 5 elements are not there, only 4 elements are there. And when you say index of 4, application will crash. Again, I will repeat the question. So assume that there is an array of 5 elements. You thought that all 5 elements are exist. in order to access the last element, you give an array index of 4, whereas due to some internal reasons, it has created only 4 elements. So in place of 5 elements, it is created only 4 elements. So when it's created only 4 elements, 0, 1, 2, 3. That means the last index is 3, but you said index of 4, application straight away crash. Then come to the next line. This is a full safe statement. Why? There is no static value, dynamic calibration. Okay, I thought that I have a 5 elements and we create internally it created 4 only. Then if you say index of 4 crash, now this statement doesn't crash. Why? Array of string dot count. So count will return number of elements. How many elements are created? Only 4 is created. So 4 is created and I will say 4 minus 1. So it will access 3 directly. So whenever you want to access the last element of the array, better to go with this particular approach. Count minus 1 is a standard way to do. Don't try to give the last element index directly. Okay. Then so still we have some other concepts also. So in order to access the first or last element, we have some standard procedure. What is that? Print array of string dot first. Print. So in place of using the index of 0, you can do like this also. Array of string comma dot last. So it prints same result means yes, it prints same results. So it is saying that expression implicitly string to any. So here what we have to do in order to as string. So warnings are it does not do nothing. What's wrong with this one? Let me try as any we have this concept later. Let me just simply make sure element. Okay, I will tell you later because as is there, downcasting, upcasting is there. I will tell you, but for now, don't do anything. So this first and last are going to return the dynamic generic types actually. So when in order to return the generic type, it is saying that so it is returning the string. So better to make it any, but don't do anything. Just keep it like this. So the first is always return the first element, whereas the last is going to return always the last element. Then checking empty status check. So how to check one particular collection type is empty or not? Print. So what is that? Array of string dot is empty. Is it empty? This one is empty. See the definition. Is it empty?
No.
No. So when you say array string of empty, see here, this is your declaration. So select the thing, okay, control key, and if you see jump to definition, it will go to here. Or if you say show quick help, then it gives you syntax declaration of that. So because the code will be lengthy, like thousands of lines of code will be there, in order to execute or in order to go there, simply select that one, jump to definition, it will go there. or else if you want to see the declaration, just okay. So it should be returns what? False actually, because it's not empty. So it's returning false. Then check it returning false. Okay. Now we have empty strings, right? Print of array of string one dot is empty. So this should be true because it is empty. So what is this is empty means? It's a simple. If count is 0, it's called empty. If the length of the array is a 0, then it is called empty. So whenever you have the empty, then it is going to return true. So in order to check or in order to access, where is the scenario? Yeah, this one. So when you say array of string 0 on empty string, application will crash. If you want to check, we can do this one on this particular string. Now it's a crash. Check, it's crash. Execution was interrupted, reason bad access instruction. Got the point? Because this is 0, I mean number of elements are 0, I'm trying to access the first element. So in order to do this one, what is a safe actually? If of is empty, right, and make it not empty. This makes sense, right? Because I was discussed this one. Printing the last element directly with the index is a possibility of crashes. Safe statement to write like this: array of string dot count minus 1. Whereas accessing the first element also possibility of crash on empty collection type. So decide in order to access the first element, make safe check first. What is the safe check? If of array of string dot is empty, not is empty. So if it is not empty, then access the first element. If it is empty, leave it. So now this statement will not execute it. It's not going to print. It's not going to print because it is empty. Finish.
Yes.
Yeah, then go ahead. So these are the basic operations, right? So creating, accessing, what is the safe checks, but this is not actual operation, right? We have some additional operation, like if I consider these two, it's are empty. So why you created empty? Because I want to use these things in further implementation. So I was created initially empty, but later on I want to add something, I want to delete something. But here these are the constant types. So these are the constant type means what? It is immutable, which is already initialized. I can't perform any kind of insertion, deletion, modification of data. So if you are trying to do something here, let's say array of integer of 2 equals to 40, state await gives error. It cannot assign because it is what? It is a immutable type. So if you created immutable type, in the sense it doesn't allow to you do any kind of operation, because it is a let type which is already initialized. But if you created a mutable type, these are the mutable where it can allows you to do some operations. Okay, so continuation, adding the element. So how to add the element or how to insert the element? So we have the type, what is that? So array of string, right? Array of string 1 dot amend. So append, I will say new element ww. Okay, then I will add one more element, array of string 1 dot amen. Okay, that's one more. Then array of string one more element, tutorial. Then array of string dot amen, one more element. So if you seen, I was missing something, but I will tell you why I am missing something here. Now I will say here I am going to say print array of string one dot count. We'll say print array of string one dot is empty. Right? After the operation, again I will say print array of string one dot count, print array of string one dot count. Right? Now, if you execute it here, this statement is printed 0. See here, this particular statement printed 0, this value 0, and the next statement printed as true because it's empty, and these all are I am amending. When I have the first element, then it is only ww. When it has a second element, ww Balu, which has a third element, ww Balu tutorial. Then it has a fourth element, ww Balu tutorials. Okay, then it's has. Okay, so if you see in the playground is a super smart playground. In the right side, if you expand the playground, you will get all the information, right? It's working according to our expectation. But okay, then my question, I'm trying to pull out this particular information in the proper format, but after ww, a dot is missing. So at 0 is a ww is there, whereas the next one should be the dot which is missing. But next one, so what is my intention? I want to insert dot in between these two. Got my requirement?
Yes, sir.
So in between the elements, I want to insert something, right? So if I want to insert something on a specific position, then what I have to do, I have to perform this particular operation. Inserting and removing to a specific index. Okay, go ahead. Let's say array of, so we have to inject dot after ww before Balu. That means it is a 0 index position. Index 0 and it is index 1 in between these two. That means I want to inject at index 1. Okay, then what I have to write here, what I have to say to compiler, array of string dot insert new element. What is that new element? Dot. Where you have to inject, at 0 or at 1? Where we have to insert this dot, at 0 or at 1?
At 1.
At 1. Then after this statement, if you see, sorry, see after this statement, if you see ww dot, it's printed dot here. Okay, then one more dot is required here also. Is that index of 2, index of 3. So I want to place one more dot after tutorials, and here array of dot, insert a new element, one more dot at the position of p. So what's going to happen here, when you say insert one, then whatever the existing element is there, it will force to the next element, it moves to the next one, and then newly element will be injected there. And the same thing is going to happen. So after this one, if you see your element, it has like this www.balu.tutorials. This is wrong. I have to place somewhere, right? Why it is injected here? 0, 1, 2, 3. Why this dot is injected in middle? We did anything wrong here? Maybe I'm thinking my playground is showing wrong. String. Okay. The problem is, can you explain me what's the problem?
It should
Guys,
be fourth position.
yeah, but so what's the problem actually? See, whatever the
Next one.
index you are pointing 3, this is before modification, right? When you added this one, when we added this element, positions are changed, right? One more new element is added, right? So it should be go with 4 actually. Got the point? Everyone understood the issue?
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
yeah, got
Initially
it.
it was 3, but when you added a one element, it's already added another element. So 0, dot is 1, Balu is 2, tutorial 3, next one. That's why it's a problem. Now finally we got like this. It's fine, looks like fine. But I was wondering that, oh, I did some wrong here. I want to make Balu tutorial.com, not tutorials. So I was made a mistake. So this one is a wrong actually. Okay. Now this is a wrong. I can modify or I can delete and inject also. So what is my requirement? I want to delete this one right now. So I will say array of dot remove all, delete everything, but I don't want to delete everything, right? So array of string remove at. So what is the indexes right now? If you see in this one, it's a 0, it's a 1, it's 2, it's 3, it's 4, it's 5. So 0, 1, 2, 3. This element I want to remove. So 0, 1, 2, 3. So I will say remove 3. So after removing 3, let's say print of array of this one. Then so it's removed. Now I want to insert 0, 1, 2. At position of 3, I want to insert new one. Is that array of string 1 dot insert tutorial, tutorial, not tutorials, at the position of 3. Then I will say print array of string 1, right? balututorial.com. So in place of doing like this, I think we can do straight away, right? Like this also. What was the index of that element? 3, right? 3 equals to tutorial. Modifying. So you can modify directly. So in place of doing these all things, removing and adding the new element. So here you remove one element, then after removing you did this one, right? In place of doing this all things, still you can manage like this. Print. You got the new text or not? Right? So whenever you have a modification, in place of modifying, okay, modifying first, removing the element, after removing the element, then again adding the next element, it doesn't make sense. I know what is the index of that element, directly straight away, you can assign the data also. Directly you can modify the existing value also. This is the accessing and modifying the element. Okay. Any doubts on up to here?
One question. For
Yeah.
the entire process to happen, where to delete or remove or add, append anything, that array must be mutable, right?
Yes,
never
that's
be.
the thing, right? Nah, that's a primary thing. That's why I was created when I started example. I was created two different things because this is a requirement. If it is immutable, you can't do anything. Only you can access, only you can print the length, only you can print the elements, but you can't do any kind of insertion, deletion, modification. So it must be mutable type only to perform this one. And I'm right now I'm performing on the string, right? You can perform on anything. It's not like what are the another immutable type. Okay, this one, array of the default integer. See, array of default integer dot array, remove, insert, all are same syntax because collections all are works on generic types. Okay, so it's clear, Ramesh?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Now go ahead, continuation marks. Still we have some other concepts also on same thing. Finding an element in the shift array. So how we can identify that this particular element is there or not, or this particular data is there or not. So we know that we have different, okay, we have this array, we have this one, array of string is there. Okay, fine. Let's try to do something. Print. I'm using print statement, but we can use in the different format. Array of integer. What are the elements we assign? Array of integers. Array of integer. You remember the integer elements? Okay, 10 to 50. Now what I'm trying to do, dot contains, and here see here what it is doing, guys. If you observe here, when you are accessing a element, see here it is saying that returns a boolean value indicating whether the sequence contains the given element or not. So whenever you are trying to use any kind of method from your collection type, In the bottom, it gives what is the behavior of that particular method directly. So I'm using contains. I have to pass an element and it returns a Boolean value to me saying that that element is exist or not, right? So contains 40. Is it there? 10, 20, 30. These are the elements which are there. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. These are the elements which are exist. Array of integer contains 40. Should be returned true. Then I'll say print array of integer dot contains 100. Is it there? Is it there?
No.
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 Now print array of string dot contains a element called Balu. It's there. It's there or not? Capital
Yes.
B is there. No, 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 no. Case sensitive.
Okay.
False. Actually, this is exist. Print array of string dot contains dot com. Okay, let's go ahead.
No.
So what it says, true, false, false, true. So one note point, for example, I will try to do something. Okay, guys, listen here. Stop coding, listen. Array of integer, I will add one more 40. So how many 40s are there right now? Two 40s are there, right?
Yes.
Now come to the code. When you say print array of integer contains 40, there are two 40s are there. So this contain method will consider what?
First one.
Yes, that should be very important point. So the contains function returns as soon as the first match is found. Make sure remember this point. So contains is not going to iterate through entire array list or collection list. Contain function doesn't goes until end of the list. It will consider only the first occurrence. Whenever you got the first occurrence, straight away is going to return true to you.
One
Okay.
question.
Yeah.
This might sound a little silly, but when you told that the array of strings dot contains to be used, how you know that contains is a function which will contain all the features for this operation?
No.
What I need.
So I already mentioned collections all are what? Classes actually. Okay. Collection is a here array or dictionary sets. These all are the classes. Contains is a method of that particular class. Okay, and the implementation of the contains are exist. So see here, it is works on the complexity, like how it is going to work, where n is in the length of the sequence. So what this method will do internally, it will identify the length of that sequence or the length of that particular array what you were created, and it goes through that particular elements and it will compare the matching cases occur or not.
Okay.
So we are not doing any logic. We are using the pre-implemented method in their library. See, if I go and say definition, it's going to which class? See here. If you can observe here, it's moving here. Shift collections. So I'm using the library, their own method. It's the API. So it's the API itself. So they knows that what's going to happen internally. It's the API. Okay, I hope so it's clear. So internally how it works, it pick the element, you know, searching concept of C, binary search,
Yes.
same notation. So it takes the element, it iterates through element, then it will pick that element is there or not. If it is there, returns true. If it is not there, returns false. Okay, but I have a different requirement. I don't want to do like that. Okay, not exactly the matching case I want to do. I have some other requirement. Let's say my array of integer is these elements. So I want to check that my array of integer has some specific range values. So um, okay, I will tell you practical. Let's say I'm going to do something print. Not able to understand, let me know. Okay, don't be panic something I'm writing. Okay, array of integer. One more variation I want to show you. Dot contains. If you seen here, contains, it's one syntax, and if you go to the third one, contains is another syntax. That means contains method has a two formation. One is directly can you enter the element whatever you want, or you can go with the another check also. Yesterday if you remember, in switch, when I'm using switch, there I was implemented a where nested condition. So in the contains also there is another combination syntax which takes a condition. Contains where int throw boolean, it returns boolean value, but I want to say where, what I'm going to say here. So what is your element type here? Is integer, right?
Yes, sir.
Integer.
Yes.
Now dollar symbol of 0 greater than of 100. Sorry, give a space. What it returns? What it returns? It returns false. Why? Because we are asking my list values are greater than 100. So if you go to your list of array, what you have actually 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Okay, you have only 5 elements from the range of maximum is a 50, minimum is a 10. And you are saying my list has values of greater than 100. So you don't have the values of greater than 100. So it returns, so it iterated through that list and it returns false. 6 times it is iterated through list. That means it was traveled 5 times and the 6th time it's recognized that there is no element with 100 or there is no element which contains 100. Now I will say 500. Okay, then run this logic again. Now it is returning true. I think hope so this problem, I mean you understand the issue. So here I am saying that my list containing any element is greater than 100 or my values are greater than 100. So it's returning false. Now write down one more condition like print array of integer dot contains I can write like this also, but I'm writing a closure. I will tell you what is this closure will do. Dollar of 0 greater than 10. So it should be written 3 times it is iterated. It's saying that, okay, this condition is satisfied. Sounds true. Okay, I want to do more specific. More specific means any value is divisible by 9. Any values are divisible by 9. More logic like print array of integer dot contains where my value dollar of 0. Don't say is a 0. Dollar of 0 means each element. Mod of 9 equal to 0. That means in this particular list of elements, any value is divisible by 9. Any value divisible by 9. Here, values are greater than 10. Here, values having mod of 9. So it returns what? False actually, because we don't have any element which is divisible by 9 there. False. Okay, make it one element 81. It is divisible by 9.
Yes.
It's divisible by 9. Then check your logic. What your logic will do? It returns true. This is the thing. So contains has a two variations. One is a directly element comparison and another one is some conditions also you can write. On the strings also you can mention similar kind of approach. Let's say print. What are the data? Okay, we are not cover some string operations. Tomorrow I can explain you about string because we need something called prefix and postfix. We can do later also. So this is a second format of contents.
In the second format of contains, no, where condition is there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was previously when it displayed from that function from default, it was showing slightly different. Then when we double click on it, it opens up for closure
This
kind of
one?
a code. Yeah.
No, I will explain you. I will explain you that one because I need something like maps and filters. I will continue that one because I understand. So it gives you a different syntax. This is actually closure syntax. This
Okay.
is a closure syntax actually. Maps and filters syntax. It has another syntax. That one I will cover right now. Fine. Kabir, Kabir,
Yes, sir.
are you there?
Yes, sir.
I can't see any single noise from you. Just keep silence and okay, sir, going on.
No, sir. I told you answer 2-3 times.
Any problem?
No, sir.
Because I can see the response from everyone except you. That's why I'm saying that.
No, sir. I
If you
replied
have,
3-4 times.
see, yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Okay, if you have any kind of concern, it's a small or silly, no problem. Because you are learning, I am teaching. That's it. So maybe
Yes, sir.
it's silly for me, but you should know what is What is the concept? Because otherwise it will, it always keeps in your mind that, oh, what is this? What is this? Okay.
Yes, Darshan.
Yeah, fine. So go ahead with the next. Array reversing. These all are practically required. Don't think it doesn't require. So reversing in the sense what? Element has to be go reversed, right? So let's say print. We have array of integers. And I'm saying that print array of integer dot, see here, reversed, reversed. Two formats are. Okay, fine, no problem. Now execute it. So if you see in the output, these are my elements, and here these are my elements. That means whatever I am expecting, which is not there. Still I can see 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 only. So remember this syntax what we are using. We was using the first one, now I am using second one. Now see this one. Still the result is same, right? It's not reversed. So remember, when you are working with the reverse, the existing element positions doesn't going to change. So what we have to do here, we have to make sure method array of integer dot reversed, then print this value. So still I got the similar elements. Still I have same elements. So it happens in the real time also. Let reverse list equals to in the reverse list. What's wrong? Which method is there? Syntax is this one. Complexity of a returns an array containing a result of mapping given for the sequence. Not this one. At these shores, we are using a common method. Array of integer reverse array. Let me go with the documentation. Swift array reverse. Not strong. Why it is not returning the results? Is it any problem in the playground? Let me dig into online playground. Swift play down. Let me go and check. Let's try on the playground. And I can't use because I have external screen also. So, they can say leave. This is different. Okay, I will debug this one. Not sure what's wrong. Either it is a playground problem or it's wrong syntax. I'm expecting to make reverse, but here we are not getting reverse. Let's try. I will try tomorrow to identify what's wrong with this method. To I'm sure it will exist. See here, I'm not sure why it's not working. You see here, list dot category reverse. Its array. Its array is reversing. Reversed. Title dot reverse. Reversed. The method is same. Available state reversed. But I'm not sure why it is not returning. Reversed seems it's a standard syntax only. Yes. Now we got this one. Reverse. Now remove this one. We don't have reverse list. Okay. I think it could be the better syntax for that. Not sure, I can check, but this is the result you are getting right now. So whenever we are trying to make reverse of existing, and must and should we have to mention the type. So if the type is not there, it's not returning the reverse list actually. Okay. So I will dig into internally what's wrong, but this is a way which is going to do reverse. This is your array of list and this is a reverse element. So array of integer, is a constant, and I'm saying that reverse of array element I'm storing into another list and I'm printing that particular data. Okay, this is only the one combination. Reverse doesn't have any other combinations. Then looping through, traveling through array. So if you remember yesterday's session, for a value, what is that? Our list is there something called array of integer. Then print value, or for of string, then array of string, print of string value. This is a standard, but I will give one more syntax actually. So in this both syntaxes, you can get only the values. So whatever the data is there, you can print those values. So 10 times it will repeated and it keeps printing that value. And here it prints a string. But I want to print these values along with the index. Then for of value comma index, and here array of default integer dot enumerated. Then print index of index, and the value is value. Index value. Okay, there's a thing. So when you are iterating through loop like this, it prints only the value by using indexes. When if you need the index also, index at 0 odd position, this is a way to use. Similar thing we can use with array of string also. So if you see in the output, array of index 0, Balu, index 1 tutorial, index 2.com. Same way you can use for array of integer also. So you should be clear about your syntax, what you are using. So when you are traveling through array, if you are expecting only the element, only the value, then you go with the for in directly. But if you are expecting the position of that particular element also, then you have to go like this and make sure you are using enumerated. So enumerator will returns two combination value, tuple format, index and the object data. Whatever the values exist, that particular value.
Show me the output. This is the output.
For which one?
All the three. So yeah, index 0,
Uh,
5. Okay.
so this was all 10 elements, and this was string array of string. This was array of integer. So it prints along with the indexes, index element, and these are directly prints the data, and these are going to directly prints the data.
Yes, sir. Mistakenly, what I did in place of index, I wrote value, and in place of value, I
Yeah,
wrote.
initially I also did same thing actually. Later I was changed. That means you are not incorporated my changes. Initially I was did values and index only. So the first argument is the index and the second argument is an object actually. I was wrote initially a reverse, then I was changed later.
Okay.
Can you just explain one more time enumerated?
Okay, so when you use this particular looping syntax, it will iterate through array and returns only the object, what is exist in the array. When you are going through enumerated, remember these things you can apply it on anything, not only array, string, array, dictionary, or set also. Everything is same. So when you go through enumerated, it will go according to the indexes of the elements, and it returns the position of that element as a first argument and the value as a second argument. That means enumerator will return tuple value in the form of index and value. So the first argument is the index of that element, whereas the second argument is a value. And enumerated always goes in the sequence format, and it returns you index as well as a value. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Then what's pending now? Let's say I have two arrays. I have two different arrays, and I want to compare those two arrays as a similar element, or I want to combine two arrays together. Okay. The concept is combining. Okay. Combining array. Now try to create a duplications first. I can explain you two different approaches. Let array1 of integer equals to say unordered element 8 1 4. This is one array. Okay, and we have another array. Let array2 of integer where I have elements like 5 9 6. Okay, then I want to create two arrays with the combination of this result. Let result array equals to, and I do like this, array1 plus array2. Can I do like this? Possible? Not strong. Yeah. Super cool. I'm adding two arrays together, combining directly. Right. One more syntax also you can use, or let's say let sorry, go with that where type, where result array equals to array from array literal from array. So you have previously we use initialize here, repeating and count. Now this case, I have an array already. I'm creating an array from the existing array that is called array1. Later, result array dot amend. See here, two syntaxes again. Amend one element, amend multiple element. I will say array of 2, then print result. What is this array playground label contains offset? Comment of what is the next one? Array of 2. It is taking time to compile. See, it became what? Two-dimensional array. It became two-dimensional array. So if you see here, it contains two arrays. If I'm not doing like this, it still goes with the array of array. Don't use array of array syntax. Now it should be array from some sequence of array1. Now this is an array. Now second thing, sequence of content to yeah, this is my requirement actually. So different combinations I was used. So this is an array1, this is array 2, where straight away you can create an array with the combination of two, array1, or else take the array, first create an array from an existing array, later amend the second element to that one, still you will get the another resultant array.
Yes, sir, second one is little confusing from 152.
152, okay. So array, this is a class. You've seen the syntaxes of this one. It's an empty array. The first one, see the recommended you to read this. Okay. Everyone try to focus on this content. So the first one says that creating a new empty array, right?
Yes, sir.
And the second one says creating array from a given array literal. It returns array. And the third one is decoding another argument. It's repeating. We already use. Now is a sequence. What do you mean by sequence is a collection, right?
Mhm.
So what I'm saying now, I have already array 1, that is my sequence. So try to construct an array from the existing sequence. Construct an array from existing. Creating an array contains the element of sequence. So I have already the elements. So I'm trying to create the new array from the existing list, that is called sequence of array 1. That means now the resultant array containing array 1 elements. First statement. Second statement, I have another array which I have to place into my resultant array. Now what I am doing here, result of array amend contents of array. So this is already has the array 1, result array already having array 1. Now it's amending the array 2 element. So finally the resultant became combination of first one and second one. So straight away, if you don't want to use simple syntax, go with this one. Same thing I am trying to do in another variation.
Okay. So most of the time we use that plus operator.
Yeah, plus operator. Just I have to explain you what is the variations. So I'll go with the variations. Myself, I was using the different syntaxes to give my output. You see, I was trying with the array of array first. I was trying with something because I never use this kind of syntax. I use this syntax, the state away syntax easy, which is giving the flexibility to the readers also. What is happening easily they can understand. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Now the thing, whatever the array elements are there, those are not sorted, right? Now let sorted list equals to resulted array dot sorted, print of sorted list. Got the sorted elements? Last output.
Yes, sir.
Then let list equals to, okay, I'm doing some high order methods. Result array dot map. So Ramesh,
Yeah, one question. That time you were explaining about the two-dimensional array,
it
right?
comes. It comes. Wait.
One,
I will explain you in another topic. I mean, it's a continuation. One more sequence will come. So you
okay.
discuss some other syntax is coming, right?
Yes.
Previously, see map. This is the syntax. When I press enter, so it is saying int, right? This is value. Okay, and T means capital T is indicating template. I will make sure it should be int. Then my code. So what is the meaning of this one? So if you've seen this one, this syntax, this is going to call as a closure syntax. There is a topic which I am going to explain you. This closure syntax is going to take the parameter $0 means the element, any element, whatever the element, 0, 1, 2. So $0 is indicating the element, that element mod of 9, and this is a code. I can say this is my closure logic to check the contents. What I am doing here, result array dot map value. So it iterates through loop. It will go each and every element, and I will say if of value is less than 5. Okay, if value less than 5, then I will say return value, else return nil. I'm making like this. It's a closer actually. The topic I will explain tomorrow, but let's analyze the behavior of this one. So what I'm trying to do, I have a list of array. I want to map that list of elements in another list with this condition. What is that condition? If that value is less than 5, then only return that value in the list. If that value is greater than 5, then return nil. So what I am returning here, if you analyze my logic here, maybe I can return a value, either maybe I can return a nil object. That's why I'm saying a return like this. So what it does, it will travel throughout my array list and it will check that any elements falls under this condition, it returns a value or it returns a nil. In the same approach, I can make a simplified of this statement. I can make simplified of this statement in the form of a return value less than 5 question mark of value, whereas a colon I'm going to return nil. Then if you remember your resultant set, this is your resultant set, right? 1 2, this is a sorted, this one 7 8 1 4 2 5 9 6. So according to this one, print list. Question mark. So if you've seen what it is printed, it's printed first two elements are nil. What are those two elements if you remember?
7, 8.
This is your result, right? So when you are traveling through this particular list, first element 7, your condition is false, then 7 is gone, means 7 place is returning nil. So second element is a 8, condition false, it is returning nil. Third element 1, yes. 4, yes. 2, yes. 5, no. 9, no. 6, no. Then it became result 1 4 2, right? Then observe what I'm trying to do next one. So this map is going to use to return a list of data depends on your condition. Similar kind of approach you can use specific filtering. Let list1 equals to result array dot filter. Result array dot filter, again it's a value. Then I will say return value greater than 5. Then print of list1, check. So if you are checking here, you got 7896. So these are both are going to call as a high order functions. These are going to call high order functions. So these high order functions are going to use to filter your list of the results in a different format. In the map, I am trying to give so this condition based values or not. So if this condition true, I will present a separate list. If this condition is false, a separate list. If it is a filter, if it is a condition, it will include. If it is a false, it doesn't going to include. Then another combination is there is a final combination. If you go to this one, this result contains nil objects also, right? This results contains nil object also. So I want to eliminate the nil object. Then I can say compact map of $0. Then if I printed this result, I will get only the values. It doesn't have nil. Okay, now you guys try to analyze these three things and give me what we are doing. I'm using map, I use filter, I use map with a compact map combination. So basically these all are going to use for filtering the data. So analyze this one and tell me which scenario, what we have to use, which case we no need to use what. Very important. Maps, filters, compact map is very important. So I will give the conclusion. By using map, we can filter the elements from the specific list depends on its particular condition. By using map, we can filter the list of elements depends on the specific conditions. So according to our list, we have to filter only less than 5 values. Then we say if it is satisfied this condition, value, otherwise nil. So it is eliminated those all elements which are greater than 5. Then the resultant of the map is returning a optional data, that is a nil object. In order to eliminate the nil object, just use the compact map. So in the third syntax, whatever the result I got from the map function, which is the elements of my condition plus nil objects. In order to remove the nil object, just make sure $0, it removes all nil objects. So compact map is used to remove the nil objects, which is resultant from map function. Whereas filter function is going to return that specific elements according to your requirement. So in this particular filter function, I say if the value is a greater than 5, then include in the list, otherwise remove from the list. So this is returning 7, 8, and 6. These all are we have to use specially from the server response data. So in the iOS development, we are going to use these functions. So there you can easily understand what is the need, how we are going to use these things. Okay.
Sir, map is hello, sir.
Yeah.
Map is nothing but like if you want to perform some same operation on each and every element of that array, so we can go with the map also.
Yeah, it's possible. But see, why I introduce later in place of using the iterative through, like we are traveling, right?
Yes, sir.
So it's a basic syntax. But let's say I want to find a element which value is a 10, or I want to write some specific logic. This is a basic integer value. If I have a custom component, let's say I have a list of employees data where I want to filter those guys whose salary is 10,000 or greater than 10,000 or the specific value, then I can't go with a loop because loop will take more time. Let's say 1 lakh records are there. I want to find out the specific elements or the specific condition related data from the list. 1 lakh employees are there or 1 lakh records are there. I want to filter. So I can't write the loop logic, say, okay, I equal to 0, I less than 1 lakh. And so in place of doing like that, you always recommended to use the map. So here, just for the syntax purpose, I am giving like this. But what you are going to do here, you are going to write a commission, okay, something. In place of value, you got an employee object. Employee.id is this one, employee.salary is this one. If employee salary is this one and the department is this one, then the return that employee, otherwise remove that employee. The use
Yeah,
cases are different. I'm trying to give you the syntax right now. How we are using later you can understand. But the syntax compare with the iterative, like using the for in loop or using the while loop, it takes more time when you are filtering the data from a list of elements. So whenever you having a requirement like that, then you can go for the map or filters. So map is a completely, I can say, let's say if I'm going to use a loop on the 100 records or 1 lakh record, let's say I'm using a foreign loop on 100 records, then it is taken me consider as a 1 minute time to filter the data. Same thing, map will take 0.25 microseconds only. So maps are faster than the looping concept. So better to use a map. And what is the next level advantage? You can write the custom logic inside the map and you can eliminate those data by using nil. So whenever you are trying to use a map, result or nil object you can return. So in order to filter all nil objects or in order to remove all nil objects, what you have to do, simply you have to say compact map of $0. This compact map will be removed entire nil object from your list of data. So in map, we can use some custom models. In similar fashion, you can use the filters also. Filters and maps are looks like same, but you have to decide what kind of things you are going to use or what kind of requirement is there according to that one. So if you've seen here, I'm returning object or nil object. But if you see in the filter, I'm returning bool. So in this case, I'm directly saying that include that element, exclude the element. But in this case, I'm returning a custom object and I'm creating a nil object. I will repeat this statement again. In map, I'm returning a object type. I'm returning my own type, which need to be included, which not to be included. But in filter state array, I'm returning the Boolean value need to include or not. So filter doesn't allows you to return the custom object, a new object, whereas a map will allows you return new object.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Okay.
So this is maps compact map, and the finally one more syntax is exist, that is multi-dimensional array. This is the final one for today's session. Multi-dimensional array. It's a simple way, like creating the multiple, creating the multiple arrays or placing the array within the array is called multi-dimensional array. So I can say simply whereof list1 integer equals to 1, 2, 3, 4. This is one array. Whereof or let of list2 int equals to different series 10, 20, 30, 40. Okay, then next whereof list3 int 100, 200, 300. Okay, now I have three arrays. Now whereof what I have to do, I have to combine these all things, right? Whereof something like multi-dimensional. Now I have to create multi-dimensional. Okay, multi-array. Now stop doing code. Understand. If I say like this, what it indicates? Empty array of integer, right?
Empty array, yes.
Empty array of integer.
Empty array
Now,
of
if I say like this, then
two arrays.
Array of array.
Array of array.
Like this, it's an array. Like this, two-dimensional array. Go ahead. Like this, three-dimensional array. Not required. So you set with the 2D, then understand the functionality. Now, multi-array dot amend. What is that? List1. Multi-array dot amend of list 2, multi-array of list 3. Now print multi-array. What's that? Okay, if you seen here, the result, last result, we got like this, right? So first row, second row, third row. It's a multi-dimensional array. Then the question is raised here, oh, it's a multi-dimensional array, how I have to travel? Very good. For of, I can say sublist of multi-array. Sublist of multi-array. You understand my word, sublist. Then again, for of value of sublist. Then the result of empty string result is equals to of value. Okay, then I will say print of result in this case. I hope so you understand the concepts here. See this output. First row, second row, third row. So first loop is going to iterate through your list. So when it is iterating first time, the sublist containing the array 1 element, list 1. When it is iterating to second one, second list. Iterating to third one, third list. Every iterative outer loop will go with the inner loop, and inner loop will be executes one by one, and it appends the value. Okay. So this is all about the arrays, but remember this is not only array, similar thing, same syntax, same function, same behavior you have to apply for dictionary as well as sets also, but only the thing, the data models are different. Any doubts?
When I'm going to append, there are two types of append, like contents of a new element.
So multi-array dot amend is a sequence is a amend. So what I can say, first case, if you seen the parameter, you seen the parameter?
Yeah, this new element.
Integer.
Integer.
Integer array, integer array.
Integer array. Okay.
Yeah, it takes integer array. And the second one, the sequence, is a array, is a generic. But I have a type, right? Go for the first one. Because list 1, list 2, list 3 is what type? Integer array, right?
Yes, integer array.
Go for this one. So if you don't know the type, generic, then go for second one.
Okay. Fine.
Yeah.
Sequence is also a data type.
Yes, sequence is array, man. It's not a data type, it's array.
Okay, any type of array. It can take any type.
Any type of array, yes. Okay. Any doubts? So here, array of shift used to store order, same thing, where are mutable, I already explained it. Same thing will be continued tomorrow with the dictionaries. If you have any questions, you can ask, and you can go through my website. You will get some more similar kind of examples actually, because I was picked same thing from them. So I hope so you don't have any doubts, but we have to go through Git actually. Okay, now I'm
Okay,
closing
sir.
my project. Then see our Git. This is our Git repository and its master branch fetching. These are the code what we implemented. Okay, then okay. Now open this one. Right here, write the summary working with shift array. And here I will give you description. Make this description there. I think these all things I was explained right now. Creating array, creating an empty array, creating an array with the right, accessing, reverse, looping through, combining, filters, maps and filters and compact map.
This conference will now be recorded.